Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the MLG Winter Championships. I'm Tumba, of course, joined by none other than FXOz. Axel, your first time officially casting at an MLG event. How do you feel?
Feels great, man. It's good to be here. Incredible event going on. I mean, if no one has ever been to an MLG event, it is absolutely fantastic. Mind-blowing. The amount of people, the amount of energy. It's just astonishing. The amount of talent here. We
Oh,
have
it's amazing.
ridiculous players in this tournament. And then, of course, we have beautiful, handsome casters casting it, of course. And, of course, our Tasteless and Artosis, JP, Rob
Simpson,
who were
yeah.
they were just
Day
casted
9.
the last game on the stream.
Yeah.
So
DJ Wheat.
they had to go
of course,
save the
here.
world. DJ Wheat, of course, in day 9.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
yeah, man, super
We've
excited
got
to be
we've
here.
got also, we have a phenomenal matchup coming for you guys here. We've got Oz versus Grubby. Of course, two very great players. I cannot wait to see how this one shakes out. Let's talk a little bit. Why don't you talk a little bit about Oz?
Yeah, you can see his graphic on the screen there. We can see his win rates. PvP, 72% win rate. And there's actually a little bit of a story behind that. I don't know if it was Twitter. I don't know where he said this, but recently he stated everyone. Okay, first of all, everyone is like, oh, PvP's a coin flip. It's lucky. Blah blah blah. Oz came out and said, you know what? If you think PvP, if you think it's lucky, go ahead and play me. He said something like that because he is confident in the matchup.
Calling him out.
Yeah, no,
Calling him
he's
out.
so confident in the matchup. And then, of course, he has a PvP against Grubby coming up. And it should be interesting. We see Grubby on the screen here. 47% Protoss, 55% Terran, 45% versus Zerg. But, of course, the only relevant statistic here is the 47%. And it looks like the first map is going to be MLG Daybreak. And as I go ahead and as I go ahead and open up the map, Tumba, what more do you got to say about
Yeah, well, Grubby,
and Oz?
of course, a big fan favorite, has been a journeyman in SC2, to say the least, coming off of Warcraft 3, a Warcraft 3 champion, many times over. And you know what? He had a tough 2011 in StarCraft 2, but I have to say the great thing about Grubby is he is persistent. He knows the game inside and out, and he has gotten better and better. This a true test for Grubby. If Grubby can defeat Oz here, it'll definitely be a big notch in his belt. Plus, it'll be a confidence booster for him.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you know what? Grubby has momentum. Last
Yes.
week he played in the Lone Star Clash. He got 4th place. The players in that tournament, there were 16 really good players, to be honest. And the fact that he got 4th place, that's a testament to his skill, a testament to the fact that he's not going away.
No.
He is going to stay in the scene, and he's going to do fantastic things. And it starts with this MLG. Sure, he's not there yet. Sure, people may be like, okay, you know, I'm a little bit questionable, but this is his big chance to really put his stamp on the scene right now and say, you know what, I'm here for the long run.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things about Grubby, he's so dynamic, not just a wonderful player, also a great caster. However,
Yes.
I have to be a little bit selfish here and say I'd like to see less casting. It was a ball casting with him at Winter Arena, but I want to see less casting and more
More playing.
championships. So, you know what? I do have to root a bit for Team Grubby there. I will be impartial during the cast, but, man, Grubby's captured the hearts of so many SC2 fans, and why not? He's just a class act.
Yeah, and it's for good reason. I mean, this is one of the classiest guys out there as the countdown is starting. We both had a chance to cast with him, and yes, you said it, his casting is phenomenal. If you haven't seen Grubby cast, go watch it right now. Actually, not right now. You can watch this game first, and then you can go watch it. But we're about to jump into FXOz versus Grubby. I'm excited, man.
Oh, I am so excited. Cannot wait to see. Of course, as mentioned, MLG Daybreak will be the map. Why don't you go ahead and get into player intros for us?
Sure, in the top right-hand location, we have the green Protoss player, Grubby. Of course, one might say a fan favorite, you know, one of those foreigners that everyone seems to be cheering on. And of course, this is a PvP against his opponent in the bottom left-hand location. It's the red Protoss player, FXOz. But again, we have to remind everyone, this guy is so confident in PvP. And, you know, I'm so happy I'm casting this because I want to know what his secrets are, man. This guy has it figured out. And we're about to find out, potentially, what exactly is the formula for winning
He's got
PvP.
sort of that X factor. People talk about the X factor coming into play in the metagame a lot. Another player they associate that with, of course, Stefano. One of those players, you got the Stefano style, quote unquote. And these players seem to possess these abilities, these timings that other players just don't have, and they're so hard to deal with. Oz in PvP is one of those players.
Yeah.
Grubby, again, and I was has coined the phrase as well, though. He has felt like so long ago it was the first Protoss to expand was the one that was going to lose. You only get it because you're so far behind. But Grubby has a new theory. First to expand is actually the one that has the advantage, that will win more often than not. So we're going to have to see. I want to see exactly how Grubby decides to tackle Oz.
Yeah, and you said it, man. I mean, the metagame is literally changing every single day in PvP. Super excited to see what happens here. We see both these players going for completely standard opening. However, Grubby going for a gas here. Oz, okay, just a little bit later. Nothing too crazy about that. You know, standard play for both these players. But let's talk about the map a little bit. Daybreak, you know, there is a relatively easy to take natural expansion. There are 2 ramps leading up to it. One leading to the natural third base, one leading to the middle of the map towards the watchtower. And of course, watchtower control is very important in every matchup on this map. Having control of this watchtower gives you vision of pretty much a large majority of your side of the map. Of course, there is a little attack path your opponent can take to circumvent that, which we see a lot of clever, cute players do. But yeah, this map, you know, this is one of those maps that it can get to the late game in PvP.
Yes, absolutely. It can produce some very long games. Of course, PvP coming a long way from the 4-gate fest it used to be. A lot more metagame coming into play now. Grubby getting in there with his probe. Not afraid to mix it up, do a little bit of probe harass there. Of course, you know, FXOz, we've said, has to be considered the favorite in this matchup right now. However, Grubby has the chops to go ahead and win this series.
Yeah, I mean, I would say anything can happen, but then again, I mean, Oz has said not anything can happen because I'm a master at PvP. But it looks like Oz going for a 2-gate opening here, starting warp gate technology right away, starting a Stalker. When the Stalker's finished and when this gateway is finished, he's going to be able to make 2 Stalkers at the exact same time. So opening with 3 Stalkers here, some Protoss players love doing this to try to deny the potential of that 4-gate opening, you know, getting out there, denying scouting probes, getting a good map presence.
Sure.
You know,
the key is to be active as well. You really want to be active on the map. So if we can actually check in with Oz, I want to point something out. Take a look at the Sim City. Look where he placed that gate. Protecting that probe line, there's no way that anything's going to run by that, making it that much more difficult to get in. So we can go ahead and add some further protection there into that probe line. Grubby, and you know what? You really mentioned it, Axel, and you make a great point in saying the momentum is with Grubby. Really, since Arena, we have seen a different Grubby. Yes, he's improved in 2011. We've seen the steady growth out of him. However, lately, he sort of exploded into just a whole different level, a whole different confidence.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and one of my favorite matches, I should say, from Lone Star was Grubby versus Bling. And PvP, a large majority of the time is about positioning, where you position your units. Grubby did it perfectly. He was behind, he still ended up winning the series. Just a great display of awesome Protoss play from Grubby. But that being said, let's look at these builds right now. Grubby opening with a Stargate, and look at this. Oz opening up with Twilight Council. Now, you may say, oh, he's just going straight for Blank. He's getting Stalkers. He's going to win no matter what against his Stargate play. But again, the Stargate, again, one of those newer additions to the PvP matchup. Not a lot of people have been doing it, but recently it's been used a lot more. But we see, look at this, Oz going for this Dark Shrine. And Grubby doesn't have a robo. He doesn't have any detection whatsoever right now.
No, so that could be a major issue. And as we can see right now, Oz has Stalkers being extremely aggressive here in the real estate of Grubby. Now, you know, you had mentioned Twilight Council, and you said it perfectly. You said, you know, it's not always just a rush to Blink. Obviously, Dark Shrine can be a very hard thing to deal with, especially if you don't have any kind of detection. It can be game-ending. We saw players like Axlav work a lot with Phoenix openers, being very good at being able to harass and scout. The problem with it is you use too much energy harassing. When you come home to a counterattack, there's nothing left to pick up the enemy army and go ahead and deter them. Now, Grubby's going to get a look at everything here and see exactly what's going on.
Also killing some probes at the same time. So he knows the Dark Shrine is on the way. He knows the progress of it as well. Behind this, it's important to note, Oz is taking his expansion. So now Grubby seeing this, is he like, okay, I'm going to take my expansion too, of course, after defending this Dark Templar play that's coming up, or am I going to try to push this as hard as I can? Because again, when you expand in any matchup, there's a period of vulnerability where, you know, your opponent can attack you and you're scared. You're scared of dying. But we'll have to see, man. I mean, Oz, of course, very confident in this matchup. Oz has a lot of units on the field. He can simply make 2 Dark Templars, make him into an Archon. Archon's a very good unit. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But look at this. Grubby trying to be as annoying as possible. I keep my eye out for any Dark Templars, but I don't think have any been made. Okay, there's one on the field. Help me find it, Dumbo. Where are we looking here?
Well, he was on the front row, but hold that thought. As we can see, Stalker's now engaging these Phoenix, and one thing Grubby is very good at is keeping these Phoenix alive.
Yes.
You will see him micro them so very, very well. As soon as Oz realized that he had an orb already, Blink almost fully finished now for Oz, which he's going to need. And we see Grubby has, in fact, thrown down his expansion as well. Oz a little bit ahead, I believe,
Yeah.
On his. And Immortals now being produced
By
for
Grubby. Yeah. It's interesting, Grubby, you know, just saying, okay, I'll expand too. I still have no idea where that Dark Templar is. There's one on the field, Tumba, I promise. Unless the units tab.
I believe you. Well, here's the thing, though.
It's killing me, though, man. It's like Easter, and I can't find my
If you look in the back of Grubby's main, or rather expansion, you can see there is still a pylon there, and Grubby is not quite aware of that. That is something that Grubby is definitely going to need to handle, and quickly. That's a great benefit to Oz to have that there, and it has been. They're finally noticing it now. Grubby going to take care of that pylon, clean that pylon up, and actually, I don't believe it will slightly supply block Oz, but only for a moment.
Actually, he doesn't have any pylons in production, so this is going to supply block him for a while, which is very unfortunate. Just now adding on that pylon. But as of right now, going to the middle of the map here with a lot of Stalkers, Phoenix is still trying to harass the mineral lines of Oz, and he doesn't care too much. He didn't leave anything behind to defend, no cannons, a little bit surprising. Look at this probe count. He doesn't have a lot in his main base, albeit he did transfer some to his natural expansion, but let's get the income damage really quick. Even in hard position, not a big deal at all. Grubby right now is going to focus on defending the impact of Oz, and that's a lot of stuff.
I feel like Grubby, though, while Oz is trying to ease the initiative, Grubby's been ready for everything Oz has thrown at him so far. The Phoenix opening stage. Now, here we go. We are going to see an engagement. Force field's going down. Going to deter Oz a little bit. Tons of sentries there for Oz. Oz, great unit.
Yeah, it's a very tense moment right now. A big engagement might happen pretty soon. Oz going up the ramp right now. Grubby has an immortal there, which is very good against those Blink Stalkers.
Yes.
However, if Oz can target fire that immortal, he will have the advantage.
Absolutely. The goal here, obviously, to go ahead and focus down the immortal, as that will do the most damage. And that sentry count, he's got to be very careful because that's a huge gas investment. Looks like about 7 sentries in there. And you don't want to lose those because not only is it a gas investment, but it's an investment in time to gain energy.
Yeah. And it looks like Grubby's just taking the defensive stance. Oz sending some of his units, sending his sentries back home, and only sending his Stalkers forward. Of course, Stalker's the more mobile unit. You could be a little bit more cutesy with them, blinking back.
Oh, and look at all of the pickups there by the Phoenix. Great job there by Grubby, and this is what we're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Grubby has just seemed to turn into this player that is a new Grubby, if you will. It's the Grubby of 2012. This could very well be his year, as he's given Oz one heck of a run for his money thus far.
Yeah, this game is still very ongoing right now. Look at the supplies. Relatively even. I'm trying to theorize about who's ahead. Both have 2 bases. Both have... Oh, look at this. Oz has 55 harvesters.
And DT now doing work, but Observer there to go ahead and pick that off, or detect it rather, so it can get picked off. And you can see right now, Grubby is just everywhere at once. I believe a DT may be in the main. Yes, DT has snuck into the main, but look, Grubby, look how fast he's there to react. He's going to lose a couple probes while the server takes time to get there, but look, this is the DT, takes care of it. Crisis management, phenomenal. It looks like he's also spotted the more Taiwan block. He's going to be able to take those out as well. Man, Grubby looks so sharp.
It's interesting, though, because Grubby's only at 40 harvesters. Oz is at 54. Grubby hasn't been making probes. If we look at workers killed, sure, some have been killed, but it's relatively even. Grubby even ahead in the workers killed. So it's a little bit surprising, actually really surprising, that Oz has such a harvester lead right now, which of course will make his economy better, give him the better ability to do this one up. But Grubby tried to take Oz off guard in the middle of the map here, blinking forward his Stalkers, trying to do some damage to Grubby's army. It is so big. Oz right now, I think he has the Colossi on the field. Yes, he does. That's going to tell the story here. Of course, you can say Phoenix, you're going to get the Colossi, but, you know, they pretty much picked up here we go. Grubby gonna go up the ramp here, picking up one of the sentries, pushing forward all of the units into the Zealots, so I don't know how much doing so much damage to those Stalkers. The Morals are kind of damage as well, and it's hard to call now, but Oz has such a huge supply lead, cleaning up Grubby's army, and Grubby has to retreat here.
Yeah, Grubby really getting overly aggressive there, and as you said, the big thing there was right into the Zealots, unable to blink out of the situation or micro. That was the big deal there. You see that Oz just really had that engagement from the start. Patient, you know, was able to go ahead and bide his time, and he engaged under his circumstances, really forcing a little bit of a mistake out by Grubby. And here's the problem. You just noted, Axel, what a great economy that Oz had built. So couple that great economy with that battle, with coming ahead in that battle, and that's going to put Oz light years ahead.
Yeah, Oz in a great situation here, ahead on tech. He just cleaned up half of Grubby's army. Again, the Harvester count is important to note as well. And what does Grubby do from here? Let's see, he's going for a Templar Archives. Archons can be very good for his composition. And look at his gas. That's a great thing for Grubby right now. He has 800 gas. Some people are like, oh, he's floating gas, he's bad. But no, he's going for high Templar Archives. Archons cost a lot of gas. So if you can get some Archons on the field, that can really swing a game in a Protoss
going ahead and Oz adding a third. And this can be the proverbial nail in the coffin, Axel, I feel. Especially if that gets up and running. I mean, he's going to have just such a huge lead. And it's a shame because Grubby did so phenomenal fending off everything that Oz threw at him. But this is why Oz is like, pick a Protoss, I'll play him, and I don't care. He's that good.
Oz is playing the still right now, and the question is Grubby going to challenge his third? Because when your opponent puts down a third, you have to do something in your mind. You have to think, especially in a mirror matchup. You're like, okay, do I match it and take an expansion of my own, or do I invest all of my current economy in units and go kill him? Right now, Grubby adding on 3 gateways. He could have built an expansion with that money. So it looks like Grubby's going to go for the kill, trying to take advantage of this third timing from Oz.
Well, Grubby knows just how bad that engagement went for him, so he realizes he's behind. He needs to make something happen, and that's what he's trying to do right now. Checking the 4th right there, and will actually clean up some units there. And as the third finishes, you can see that Oz has left some stalkers behind to go ahead and guard against that. And right now, Grubby going to decide to add a third himself.
That's so interesting. Of course, this third is going to be up ahead or behind his opponent, which of course is bad, obviously. Income tab shows Oz still ahead, 62-49. So Oz is going to be ahead in economy throughout this entire game. I guess Grubby's just going to rely on his micro, better unit composition, better unit positioning, which is oh so important in the PvP matchup. And now I want to look at the Colossi count. Colossi count late game PvP is so important. It looks like Grubby completely skipping them for now. Did he ever build a robotics bay? I don't think he did.
Actually, hasn't even converted to warp gauges yet. He's got so much going on, trying to position, trying to go ahead and get his army together and establish that third. He's got a good unit spread, but I think Oz is on the march. He may feel it's time to go ahead and end this.
Yeah, I talked about the timing earlier. You know, when your opponent takes a third, you hit. Well, Grubby's taking a third right now. It hasn't quite paid for itself, obviously. And now, is this Oz's timing? Is this his time to hit and take the game 1-0? We'll have to find out. But Grubby around doesn't have any Colossi. No Colossi. So Oz has 3. Okay, if Oz can micro his Colossi correctly, there's no way he should lose an engagement, but we're about to find out, Tumba.
Right, here we go, as the armies are about to meet. Oz does want to go ahead and push the issue. Guardian Shield popped, and here we go. As you can see, Archon's trying to engage, but they're going down. Good blinking out of Oz there, as you can see right now. Plummet, or rather, supply starts to plummet for Grubby, as he's just getting decimated as those Colossi reign supreme on the field, and this is where Grubby is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Grubby is going to lose this game. Odds up 154-92 supply. Again, the Colossi is so important in that unit competition, especially because they have thermal lances upgraded. And of course, the upgrade advantage is to Oz right now as well. He has +1 weapons. Grubby goes down the GG, so Oz going to take game number 1, Tumba.
Yeah, and you know, we have to say, no huge surprise that he took it because of his statistical advantage. However, let's talk a little bit about real quickly how good Grubby was in the beginning. Grubby was ready for everything. Grubby did such a good job initially fending off all of that aggression, was ready, went ahead and scouted with those Phoenix, came back, and the DTs showed up, but you know what? It was okay. He had an observer out, but the longer the game went, the more it went to Oz's favor. So, phenomenal matchup. We hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll be right back after this.